Shit. Okay. Japanese novels. My major is literature, and I'm keen on reading novels. I read about one novel every 2 weeks, usually by Japanese writers. While I like reading novels, many Japanese people do not. In 2004, 50% of Japanese people and 43% of Japanese high school students said that they had not read a book in the past month. This is an improvement from 1997, when 67% of high school students had not read a book in the past month. But compared to other countries, this is still pretty bad. The percentage of children saying, "I don't read books as a hobby," is higher in Japan at 54% than in any other country. The type of books that people read also has been changing. Bestsellers often became long sellers in the past, but recent bestsellers include photography collections, video game strategy books, and other fad books. Books are also becoming a lot easier to read. Recent bestsellers such as Deep Love and The Train Man are based on email, and the language that they use is like the language that young people used to speak. While we Japanese don't like reading much, the rest of the world enjoys reading our books. My favourite authors, Haruki Murakami, Soseki Natsume and Banana Yoshimoto, are all very popular in English translation. I love manga. I particularly enjoy realistic manga, such as manga by Yoshiharu Tsuge and Naoki Urasawa. I prefer manga to novels. Manga are easier to read, they use a more direct and powerful form of expression, and Japan leads the world. Manga are very big in Japan. 55 billion books were published in Japan in 2003, and 2 billion were manga. We spent about 30,000 yen per family per year on manga. This is 3 times as much as we spend on ramen. Many manga have been translated into more than 15 languages and are popular all over the world. The French have loved manga for a long time. 1/3 of the books published in France are manga or comics. Manga such as Hikaru's Go, which is about a game that the French do not know how to play, sell 10,000 copies each issue. The German translation of Shonen Jump magazine sells 130,000 copies every 2 weeks. In the USA, Hayao Miyazaki's previous cartoon film won an Oscar. 40 of the 50 top-selling comic books are Japanese manga. Sales of manga in the US are estimated at $250 million per year and increasing. 1/3 of children's TV in the USA is Japanese-made cartoon shows. No one knows why we Japanese are so good at making manga. It may be because we needed something to read on crowded trains on our way to work. I think that it's because we are good at visual design. Japanese cars, motorbikes, and architecture and video games lead the world too. I read newspapers frequently because my major is international economics. My family takes the Yomiuri newspaper, which is rather conservative. Sometimes I buy the Asahi newspaper, which is often more liberal. In 2005, the Asahi newspaper was voted the 8th best newspaper in the world, according to a survey by a Swiss consultancy. According to surveys, the most popular newspaper pages are the television and sports pages. I usually read the first 3 pages, which contain the main domestic and international news, and the last 2 pages, which are about events, often crimes in society. The Japanese read more newspapers per person than any other country except Norway. 80% of us say that we read a newspaper every day, but that figure drops to 51% among 18 to 19-year-olds. The Yomiuri newspaper is the biggest selling newspaper in Japan. About 15 million copies are published each day. This means it is also the biggest selling newspaper in the world. The English version of the Asahi, Yomiuri and Nikkei newspapers are a good way to learn English. These and the Mainichi newspaper also have an English language news websites. I want to be good at English, so I'm really into reading graded readers. Graded readers are books, usually novels, that have been rewritten in simplified English. Books for adults, such as The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, have been rewritten in children's English using only easy words. There are many different levels of difficulty to choose from, and each book is not very expensive. The easiest graded readers are picture books, which only have a few words per page. This method of learning English is completely different from the way I studied at school. At school, I studied short, difficult texts. Graded readers are long, easy texts. When I read them, I do not use a dictionary. Graded readers are interesting because we can choose stories that we like and read the whole book. When we read graded readers, we improve and get used to English by using it as a tool for communication. And many writers have something really interesting to say. When you read a lot of English, the improvements are amazing. It even improves your TOEIC score. When I asked a man from a publishing company, "What is the best way to improve my TOEIC score?" he says, "Our research shows that the best way to improve your TOEIC score is by reading graded readers." The man's company does not publish graded readers, so I believed him.